Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. People, this the intro.
Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down. Bear down.
All right, Bears fans, I just have to come on here and say this. The Chicago Bears offensive line is absolutely terrible, absolutely putrid, right? After having a solid performance against the Washington Commanders where they absolutely dominated the very dominant defensive line of the Washington Commanders, they followed that up with 10 days to prepare and absolutely shit the bed against the Minnesota Vikings. Today on the podcast, I just wanted to come on here and show some clips, right, of how bad the Chicago Bears offensive line was during that loss against the Minnesota Vikings. And just to kind of prove a point saying that no matter if it's Justin Fields, Tyson Bagent, or maybe another quarterback in Caleb Williams or Drake May, no quarterback is going to survive behind this putrid offensive line. And we also need to talk about Ryan Poles, because he's the one that was supposed to fix this offensive line. And once again, that is a major weakness of the Chicago Bears football team. So go ahead, sit back and relax and get ready to be really frustrated at some of these clips I'm about to show you on today's episode of Keek on the Mic about how bad the offensive line actually was against the Minnesota Vikings. So Bears fans, we're going to go ahead and start with this first clip. And let me just remind you, there was so much dysfunction up front on the Chicago Bears offensive line in this loss to the Minnesota Vikings. This first one, I believe, was a 3rd and goal. And I truly believe that if Justin Fields had the proper time in the pocket, this would have been an easy pitch and catch to Cole Kmet for a touchdown. But you can see right here that Darnell Wright, which he had his worst day to me, as a Chicago Bear. Obviously, he kind of gets a pass because he is a rookie. He is still developing, but he was still playing pretty good going into this game. But he definitely had a rough outing. But you can see right here that Darnell Wright and Ja'Tyre Carter on this play get absolutely annihilated and didn't give Justin Fields enough time to step up and make this easy throw to Cole Kmet. And that's what makes it so frustrating, because you can see that Cole Kmet would have been wide open on this crossing route for an easy touchdown for the Chicago Bears offense, but it just was not executed properly, and Justin Fields did not have enough time to actually make this throw to Cole Kmet. So it's super frustrating when you watch the tape back and you're like, man, if Justin Fields had a little bit more time to make that throw to Cole Kmet, there goes 7 points right there for the Chicago Bears offense. So this is just a little execution problem, something that the offensive line needs to figure out, because this was an all-day thing, not only with Justin Fields, but once Tyson Bagent came into the game as well. Neither of the quarterbacks had no time to actually process and throw the football in that loss to the Minnesota Vikings. This next one was super frustrating to me, actually watching it back. Obviously, you watched this live as well, but watching it back was even more frustrating because Cody Whitehair has been having a lot of trouble snapping the football, and Cody Whitehair overall struggled in Sunday's loss to the Minnesota Vikings. And this was just a high snap. And once the ball is snapped high or snapped low, the play is basically ruined. So you'll see here that Justin Fields obviously got a high snap from Cody Whitehair and instantly just ruins the whole play. Justin Fields just goes forward, gets a little gain of 2 here, but it ruins the whole play. Cody Whitehair, to me, is absolutely finished in Chicago. He's been terrible at the center position this season for the Chicago Bears, and he hasn't been much better playing the guard position as well. So there's too much money going into this offensive line, especially when you're looking at Cody Whitehair's contract right now. And I can guarantee you that Cody Whitehair's time in Chicago is basically done here, right? He just has not been good. And this is a perfect example right here of just the high snaps, the low snaps. Cody Whitehair has been terrible this season for the Chicago Bears. So it's super frustrating looking back at these clips and saying, man, it's not all Justin Fields. It's not all Tyson Bagent. And, at this point, it's not all Luke Getsy as well. It's hard to run an offense when your offensive line is playing this bad. It's just such a bad feeling because Ryan Poles, it goes back to Ryan Poles. He was supposed to get this offensive line in order, and they're just not playing good. It's just inconsistent, especially after the way they played against the Washington Commanders. Watch some of these clips back. It's absolutely embarrassing. The Chicago Bears offensive line is still very well putrid. This next clip, Bears fans, is just as frustrating. Once again, it's Justin Fields in the shotgun. It's another terrible snap by Cody Whitehair. It's a low snap, and Tevin Jenkins gets absolutely annihilated on this play as well. Luckily enough, Justin Fields is athletic enough to make the first man miss, but then also Darnell Wright gets beat as well on this play, and it turns into a huge sack for the Minnesota Vikings defense. Once again, Justin Fields and Tyson Bagent had absolutely no time to throw. There are so many different clips here that I can show you on today's episode of Geek on the Mic. But I just wanted to show you just a couple of them that just really frustrates me because Justin Fields, once again, was running for his life. And that's been the case for Justin Fields' whole tenure playing quarterback for the Chicago Bears. So once again, watching these clips back goes back to Ryan Poles. There is no way Ryan Poles can sit back and tell me that he has put Justin Fields in the best situation to succeed. So once again, no quarterback is going to survive behind this offensive line in Chicago. And this is yet another example that the Chicago Bears have some major holes across this offensive line that Ryan Poles needs to address this offseason. This next and very last clip that I'm going to show you on today's episode of Geek on the Mic is probably the most embarrassing and frustrating clip. And it's not even funny, but it's just embarrassing how bad Cody Whitehair has regressed as an offensive lineman. This is the play where Ja'Tyre Carter is right next to him. Cody Whitehair snaps the ball, and Cody Whitehair obviously misses his assignment, and it turns out that he's actually blocking his own guy in Ja'Tyre Carter while Justin Fields is running for his life once again. Personally, Bears fans, I was very confident going into the season with Cody Whitehair playing the center position. I thought he would have been an upgrade over Sam Mustipher, but it's starting to look like he was a downgrade from Sam Mustipher. And that's saying a lot coming from me because Sam Mustipher was terrible as well playing the center position for the Chicago Bears. But this is absolutely embarrassing from Cody Whitehair. He's over here blocking his own guy and Ja'Tyre Carter. They're just sitting there looking at each other like, oh, what should we do now? While Justin Fields is running for his life, probably getting sacked on this play as well. This is just terrible stuff from the offensive line. It's almost kind of like, what is Chris Morgan, the offensive line coach, teaching these guys, right? And obviously, Cody Whitehair is a veteran. He should be better than this. But Cody Whitehair, Bears fans, has to go. Cody Whitehair can no longer play amongst this offensive line. It's not best for the Chicago Bears. And I am just really concerned about Tyson Bagent in these next couple of weeks because obviously Justin Fields has to run for his life. And I know that Tyson Bagent can make things happen as well. But this was just a pathetic performance by the Chicago Bears offensive line. And it obviously goes back to coaching, but it honestly goes back to Ryan Poles as well. He had one job to do, right? Obviously, he brought in Nate Davis. Darnell Wright has been solid. Nate Davis has been up and down with personal reasons and injuries, and he hasn't been in 24/7. So it's kind of hard to judge him. He's had a couple of good games, a couple of bad games, but overall, it's really hard to judge that. Like I said, Darnell Wright has been good as well, but overall, we neglected the center position. Right. Obviously, Tevin Jenkins missed the first 4 weeks of the season. So I think that's solid. But I think we have a major hole at center, one of the most important positions on the offensive line. And Ryan Poles absolutely neglected the position. Maybe he thought that Cody Whitehair would have been better, which I can understand that. I thought that Cody Whitehair would have been better as well, but this is just absolutely ridiculous. The dude is blocking his own man while Justin Fields is running for his life. And this is why I keep telling you guys, as Bears fans, that's not always all on the quarterback. And I also want to sit back and think that, Luke Getsy, to me, is still a terrible play caller, but it's really hard to call an offense when your offensive linemen are blocking each other. So, once again, it's not all on Luke Getsy. I apologize for blasting Luke Getsy. He's still not perfect, but this is absolutely pathetic. We have to be better because watching these couple of clips is just very frustrating as a fan that we can never put together a decent offensive line. So Ryan Poles, you have your hands full to try to fix this offensive line. Obviously, you have 2 first-round picks. There are some blue-chip prospects in this year's draft that can really come in and fix this offensive line, but Ryan Poles, you have to do better in fixing this offensive line and giving whoever is playing quarterback for the Chicago Bears a fair chance to actually make some plays within this offense. But it's really hard for Justin Fields, Tyson Bagent, or whoever the quarterback is for the Chicago Bears to make plays for your offense when your offensive line can't even block consistently. So it's absolutely disgusting. So I just wanted to come on here and not really prove a point, but just share with you guys that it's not always all on the quarterback. Obviously, it's not always all on the offensive play caller as well. But this is just absolutely disgusting watching these plays back and just realizing that the offensive line absolutely sucks for the Chicago Bears, and they need to be way better than they were against the Minnesota Vikings. So Bears fans, before I let you guys go, as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Other than that, be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.